We'll now take questions for Army head coach Dave Magarity. Once again, if you could please raise your hand, we'll bring a microphone to you. John on the left.
Dave, John Morrow with the Associated Press. Congratulations so far. What is 29 wins? What does that do for a team's confidence and riding a 19-game win streak? And how much can that fuel a team going into a setting such as this, knowing that you can win and having won that many games?
Well, we know, number one, that we've got a very tall order here. I mean, this is to have to play, on the host team's floor for the second time in 3 years is something that we're trying to avoid, to be honest with you. So, you can read between the lines how I feel about the seat. So, with having said what you said, winning 29 games with a 19-game winning streak, especially being in this pod, in this 14 pod with the teams that are in it, it's it's the hand we were dealt. We know it's a very tall order. They are an exceptionally difficult team to prepare for, and they're a team that, in a lot of ways, is a mirror image of us, the way we play at our level. And they've done it at a level where they've forced more turnovers than any team in the country. They average 25 turnovers, causing 25 turnovers in the ACC. And there are games where they've forced as many as 27 turnovers and have lost. So the ability to withstand that over a 40 or 40-plus minute game is going to be, a monumental challenge for us because of their size, their length, their athleticism. But we feel that because we play that way, we haven't seen that as much in our league because the teams in our league didn't have the quickness, the personnel, and we were the team that did that to them. So it's sort of ironic, that this is the matchup, and I'm a big believer in matchups. I think the matchup is the key when you're talking about the upset or the ability to hang with a team, and I think especially in the women's side, being on the men's side for 30-plus years and being in the situation and watching it closely, I think that this is, this really comes down to matchups. And 2 years ago, we had a tough matchup. We're playing a team who was seeded fourth. It should have been seeded probably second and proved me right because they went to the Final Four that year. So, matchups are very, very critical. But we feel good about, where we're at. We feel great about how we're playing. This team has been one of the great pleasures of my career, coaching this group. It's been an unbelievable ride. They have just done everything that they've been asked to do, and that's really special when you get to this point. And to be in this position is something they truly deserve. And we can't do anything about who we're playing now, and we've had a couple days to to digest it, to try to figure it out, and it's tough. I mean, they're really, really good at getting you playing out of your comfort zone.
John, follow-up.
I'm not a read between the lines kind of guy. You're not happy with this. I don't want to put words in your mouth. You're not happy with where you're seated or where Syracuse might be seated or playing on a home court.
Well, I'm not happy playing on somebody's home court for the second time in 3 years when we obviously have improved dramatically, from what, and when I look at criteria and what people are supposed to be looking at, I'm a little confused when, we're a 13 and this is no deference to Albany because I think they're a terrific team, but we beat Albany this year. So to be put in this pod with them and that's a big difference, and I'm not going to stand here and say that, if we're playing Florida, that's, we're going to win that game or, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that it is the way it is. It's the way that the women's tournament's set up with the 16 pods, and it becomes a very regional type of a thing. And unfortunately, when you look in this area, the next closest venue for us would have been Maryland, and then the next one would have been Ohio State. So, it's just the luck of the draw for us, and I just I'm disappointed for that reason alone, and that's more of a personal thing. But we're here. We're thrilled to be here. The kids are thrilled to be here, and I looked at the expression on their faces when they showed the bracket. I don't think they cared. It's just me. I mean, I'm always looking for an edge, and I just looked at that and said, no, we're not getting an edge. And in my mind, I didn't think we're getting a fair shake, but that's the way it goes. And I get they're trying to fit a square hole into a round peg, or a peg into a hole. I don't know. It really, it was really a tough. When I saw that, I sort of thought we could be coming to Syracuse, but I was hoping maybe, but it is what it is.
Lindsay, first row on the left.
Hi, Lindsay Kramer from the Syracuse Post Standard. You've spent your whole year or 2-3 years working hard and figuring out how to get looks for Kelsey. I'm sure you've seen everything that's possible to throw at her and throw at you guys. You've seen Syracuse on video, and I'm just curious, whatever you can share with us about what you can do in this situation to kind of get her the looks she needs to score a lot.
Sure. That's, it's a great question, and I'd love to tell you I've got all the answers for that one, but we have to be ready for everything. And we've had the benefit of seeing a lot of different defenses over her career. I go back to her freshman year when a team actually designed was a diamond and one on her. And then we saw triangle and two on her, another really good player we had 2 years ago when we went to the tournament in 14. But from her sophomore year on, she's seen every conceivable defense that either is designed to get the ball out of her hands, designed to deny her the ball, designed to trap her every time she comes off a ball screen. There are so many things you need to be prepared for, and what I think that is going to be probably the storyline for tomorrow is going to be, we're going to have to make basketball plays. We can sit here and design every offense conceivable for their 2-3, their extended 2-3, their trapping, but it's going to come down to, can you make the next pass over their size, length, and their aggressive defense, and be able to not turn the ball over, not allow them to get deflections. That they're so good. I don't know if I've seen a team ever, at least recently, move so well off the ball and close out on the next pass. Their quickness, their anticipation, they were really, really good at that. And people will say, well, these are their weaknesses. This is a team that went to the ACC championship, and I'm watching film after film. I'm trying to figure out what team in the ACC most is like us. So I watch both BC games, thinking, well, they're not quite as athletic. They're a little slow at some spots, or they're this or they're that. I mean, it was just scary watching that. But BC found a way to make it a one-point game in one of those games, but Peterson didn't play. So now you go on to the next game, whether it's Pittsburgh or whoever. So, we're going to give it our best shot. I mean, we don't want our kids to feel like they are going to be tentative and play tentatively. So, we put them in these situations. We've played at Ohio State. We played at Duke. You mentioned the Maryland. Maryland was a tough game. I mean, they were just that overpowering. But, we got to get Minato clean looks whenever we can, and we need other people to step up. And that's why this year has been so successful, because the kids that were not ready to play in this game 2 years ago have been ready to play all year long. The Amy Ortner had an unbelievably productive senior year, and some of our other kids, and we've had some younger kids step up. So that's been the difference between, I think, the 14 NCAA tournament team when they were mostly sophomores in this team.
Andrew on the right, second row.
Coach, for someone who hasn't seen Army as much and doesn't know anyone besides Kelsey or Amy, who's someone else that's been really a solid player for you guys this year?
Well, and we have a very successful senior class. The senior class has won 99 games in their career, and at our level, at the mid-major level, that's a heck of an accomplishment. So Gene Parker is a very tough shooter, a kid who can make big plays, has made big shots. Tough kid, undersized, small forward, swing player. And Brianna Johnson, is a very heady, smart kid who is a great role player and is capable on any given night. She had a really big game in our Patriot League quarterfinal win. So those four seniors have been terrific. One of our sophomores has really emerged as one of our best players, Janae McNeil. She was just named to our Patriot League All-Tournament team. She was named to the All-Defensive team in the Patriot League this year. And we've got a number of other kids that are younger kids that are really stepping up and playing well. Aaliyah Murray's another one. And we have twins, Destiny and Deja Morris, that are both very good players that bring a lot to the table defensively.
John, second row on the left.
John Meadows with the Daily Orange. Coach, you spent a lot of time talking about the 2-3 zone, Syracuse's 2-3 zone, extended 2-3 zone, the press. Do you expect them to go box and one at all against Kelsey, and have you prepped specifically for that?
Sure. Yeah, we've talked about it. We thankfully, because she has been such a big target throughout her last 3 years. It's part of what we do. So we're never surprised when we see it. Now, if someone tries to play her boxing one, not to mention any schools, but say a school at our level in our league, it's a little different maybe than them putting somebody on her. And I pick your poison here. I mean, they've probably got 3 kids that they could rotate in and just try to face guard her or keep the ball out of her hands. So we got to deal with that, and we've seen it, so it won't be a big shock. How we react to it, how we're able to handle it is going to determine how this game goes. Our ability to, as I mentioned earlier, to pass the ball against pressure, to make sure that we really play sound fundamental defense. That involves incorporating a lot of ball fakes, getting people to jump, making sure you read the defense. They really are terrific at anticipating the next pass. Watching them in every game, it gets a little scarier watching it because they improve so much from earlier in the year. So I mean, it's really interesting. I have my niece plays in the league. She plays for Virginia Tech, Reagan Magarity, and I watched that game just the other day, and that was a tough game. That was here, and that was early. I think it was one of the second or third ACC game, and Virginia Tech was playing well. They were like 13-1 coming into the league, and that was tough. So from there to now, they've improved dramatically. So, we have, my staff and I really, have had a few sleepless nights here trying to prepare.
Time for 2 more questions. Paul?
Coach, you mentioned Alexis Peterson. I guess how hard is it, game planning for her because she is so dynamic offensively?
Yeah, she's terrific. I absolutely, love the way she plays. I mean, she's the type of point guard that it's just so hard to keep her in front of you. And she's gotten better with her ability to create her own shot. She can go either way. I mean, she's very, very flexible in terms of the way and adaptable to defenses. So her, when she was out for those couple games, and I watched some of those games that she didn't play in, they were a lot different. They still were good, and they still did a lot of great things. But without her, she is really it's on our scouting report. She is the engine that makes them go. I mean, she's terrific, and you know, Butler's great, and they've got so many other kids that do so many things. But I mean, he's done a remarkable job, I think, here putting this team together. You know, and they've got a lot of seniors too, because as you go and you look at everybody coming off the bench, it's senior, and they're terrific kids. And then you throw in a kid like Morrison, and it's a nice group. I mean, it's a really nice team. And you know, if Q wants to make it out to be like he's the underdog, that's, you know, more power to him. But come on, he was in the ACC final. I mean, I vote for the USA Today, you know, top 25. I mean, he's pretty much been in that top 10, 15 the whole year. That's not an underdog. So.
Any other questions for Coach? All right, Coach, thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you.
Good
Thank
luck
you very
tomorrow.
much.